DualSense Controller. Pretty cool. Great day on the internet, everybody. Welcome to Assemble. I'm Matt. Happy Thanksgiving to all of my friends over in the United States of America from a Canadian boy over here. Today, we're gonna have a little bit of fun. I hope you guys are doing well. I hope you got some eggnog going so far. You got a little bit of turkey. Maybe you got a couple of drinks. Whatever floats your boat. Perhaps just the water. Whatever works for you. Today, have some fun, right? Got this bad boy. Guess what we're gonna do? We're gonna talk about it. I'm gonna give you some insights, give my thoughts and opinions, and you know, a whole thinking brain notes on the DualSense controller for the PlayStation 5. Now let's do a quick little comparison. Haha, I have both of them right here. Yes, I do. Now, PS4 DualShock. Gotta be honest, using my DualShock controller for many years and PlayStation not really changing the design of it all that much over the years, I have been going to, that's very still clicky, that still works. Oh, the rubbers have not fallen off, by the way. This guy, yeah, he's still in good shape. I have been a PlayStation boy, as you guys know. I have my Xbox, and when I started getting more into the Xbox ecosystem, I really liked the weight and the heft and the, I'll say, girth of the Xbox controller. That's a terrible word to use, but we're going with it. When I started using it, I started liking it a lot more than the DualShock controller from PlayStation. I always found it to be too light. I always found it to be a little bit too flimsy. And I mean, for long gameplay sessions, like I really didn't notice. There's good and bad to that, right? When it is that light, it's not really going to be any issues for gameplay. I never liked the light bar. I've never been a fan of the light bar. I don't get it. I never understood why, like, I was using a light bar. I can't see it. I mean, it's kind of cool for differentiating between controllers, but it never really did anything for me. Now, this guy is doing something for me. This guy's got Matt all excited in the lower regions. Why? Because one, it's new console time, and with that, new controllers. Now, what I'm a liking to this right now, guys, is really just the feature set. Now, number one, what I want to talk about is just kind of the weight and overall feel of your DualSense controller. One, I like we went with the name DualSense. Sounds better. But two, the weight of this guy is actually really good. Looking at the overall design and aesthetics of this, like, I love how they've gone with this almost in between of size and dimensions and weight when it comes to like the previous DualShock controllers and this one here. And it's starting to feel a little bit heavier and weightier than that of, and in line with like the Xbox controllers. And that's what I actually really like about this. I like that we got clear buttons on this for our D-pad. I like that we just got a simple design aesthetics. It's got the cues from the DualShock controller with the pad. We still got our pad on there, which I want to see them use this a lot more. Now, I like the two-tone design of it, going for a black and white. It makes it good because when we eventually do get like a whole slew of colors, then I'm really going to be into that. But I do like having the white console and the white controller with black accents. It really works for me. Having clear buttons too. Again, I like that we're getting away from having colored buttons and we go with more clear. It feels more mature. It feels more premium. It looks more premium than having something that's got all the crazy colors on it. It feels very kiddish on the old versions. This, I like just clean, simple designs. You still got rubberized grip, which is nice. Now, the two additions that I've got in here, well, I should say the two additions and the two like kind of redesigns, is that obviously you have your options and then you're getting like your share buttons that are at the top here. And then when we got down in here, you've got your PlayStation logo, and as well as you got the little microphone button. Now, let Matt tell you a little something here with this guy. I'm a stupid old man. What I've noticed is, we'll get it, you can look at our previous episodes talking about the UI experience, but the PlayStation home button, I like that. I like how it's got a little bit more of the grain in it, like it's more defined. It looks more premium again, and it's got kind of the homage to the old PlayStation. I like that. I like that quite a bit. What I don't like is going to be this microphone button right here. I understand it's kind of in the best spot and it's the most hidden away and it's a less invasive location to have this mute button right here. I like that we do get a mute button right on the microphone, because if you are in game chat, if you are not wanting to hear any of the sounds coming out of your controller, you can totally turn those off in the menu, but having it right here is nice. What I don't like about this is that with that placement, I have been very prone to hitting the PlayStation home button and accidentally swiping my finger over that, or I'm getting into a crazy game and my hands and my thumbs are going nuts and they slide off and I hit that microphone button kind of often, more than I like. Now, what I'm liking about having that touchpad at the top here is that they went for a better design when you are getting it lit up. Now, you can change the dimming settings on your PlayStation within the settings itself, so you can go for like high, medium, low. I put mine down to low because I wanted to see if that's going to improve battery life at all. Battery life on this, I think it's probably a little bit stronger than that of the DualShock. I haven't noticed anything. I have noticed that I am charging it and leaving it plugged in, like after a couple of hours of gameplay. I have noticed that the bars are dropping down pretty quick. Then again, new console, playing it a ton, I probably just need to leave it charged in for like a whole day to let it do its thing. But I do like that you are actually going to get this lit up, and it's more subtle. Again, it's going for more of a premium experience than having like crazy light ups, or like you're getting over on the DualShock, where you're getting this crazy big light up bar that no one sees and no one cares. You obviously have your standard jack. You're getting a standard headphone jack at the bottom there. Nice little bit at the tip at the bottom there. That's okay. That's nice for you. Rubberized grips are good, and it feels good in the hands. Now, what is new, what is probably the newest thing, number one, there's kind of two things to touch on here, is one is going to be your USB plug that is at the top here. I like that it's a bigger one. I like it can go both ways. But it's actually going to be making it a lot easier when we're charging our controllers, guys. The last thing on this list, aside from the gameplay experience overall, is actually going to be just these triggers, the adaptive triggers, if you will. And guess what? I like them. I like them a lot. What I am experiencing right now, and we'll get into the sound design in a second too, but what I like about these triggers, if you are playing Call of Duty, if you're playing Astro's Playroom, is an amazing example because it is that tech demo and it's really showcasing what the abilities of this controller are. You could give it a little blow and blow your windmill. You could do lots of things with it. But what I like when it comes down to the controllers is that you got that resistance on them, where when you are playing and you've got to like click, you got to click all the way. So if you're playing an FPS, you do need to click those bad boys all the way down to engage your gun. What's nice is you can actually change the settings of this, like within the menu of the PlayStation system. So I do like that I could actually change this around if I'm finding that I'm not enjoying the resistance on it, and maybe it's for a specific game. But in large part, guys, it's totally new and it's foreign, but I actually like that for some missions, for some quick time events where you do actually need to engage these specifically all the way down. I like that you're getting that little bit of pull. I want to be able to try a racing game on PlayStation that takes advantage of these, just to be able to like slide my fingers up and down a little bit. But I do really like that they went with this design choice. Now, the other thing that I really am enjoying is just how the audio experience and the vibration experience, like all of that is coming into one. And I talked about this in our Astro headset review that we did a few weeks ago. What I like about the brand new controller is the integration of that haptic feedback. So having different rumbles, vibrations, experiences all on your controller. It's a little vibration experience for you, and it makes it a little bit more enjoyable for your fingertips. But when you guys do have your headset or a full audio system going on, this actually changes the game for the experience. And a lot of us have been saying online, a lot of community members have said that the haptic feedback on this is actually what's going to be the game changer for Sony. The system itself is beautiful. There's a lot of great nods to it. There's a lot of beefed up system performance. So the system itself, the console is great. But what's that difference maker between it and Xbox? Right now for me, guys, is going to be this controller. This is making a premium experience, and when you are getting little raindrops that are happening on screen, you are feeling it happen over the course of your entire controller. If there's going to be wind blowing, and Astro's Playroom, again, as a tech demo, is a great experience that I highly encourage you guys to go play that game to really feel it, because there is wind blowing that is blowing your little guy, blowing Astro off screen. As it's trying to blow Astro away, you're feeling the actual wind vibration through the controller, and it is pulsing and moving through each side of the controller. And that makes for a very, very different experience when you're gaming. So when you add in the haptic feedback, that vibration, little tickle in your hands as it's going across, and you have like a headset on with 3D audio engaged, you are getting that experience that I think Sony is really wanting you to have with their new console. And it's taking advantage of everything, all of your senses kind of just all wrapped into one. It's making for a very fun day. I really do enjoy this when I compare it to the Xbox controller and the little redesigns that they've done for the SX models. And I have a video review that goes into all of that. When I compare the two guys, I am going to give the edge over to Sony, mostly because of that vibration. The change in the triggers is big. It's a strong enough departure from the DualShock. And that's what I got to give them a lot of props to, is that you're getting a new console. You want something that feels and looks different and seems like you're getting new. And when you had the PS3 to PS4, you were getting basically the same controller with a pad, and the pad was never used the way that I think Sony demonstrated and wanted it to be integrated into their games. And I think so far, we can see it utilized in very, very smart ways going forward. And what I like so far is, let's take Miles Morales, for example. When you swipe, if you guys know, when you swipe on the pad, you're bringing up Miles's activity on his phone, on the smartphone, on the app, and you can go into different crimes and scenarios and all of that. And it's a nice swipe, and it's easy to use. I don't want some stinking bow and arrow gimmick where I have to swipe, and Astro does all of those gimmicky things if you want to try and test everything out. So I would do that. But I like the utilization of the touchpad on this. When I do look at the Xbox side versus the PlayStation, again, giving the edge over to this guy. This DualSense controller has a little bit more weight, much like the Xbox controller, but they did more redesigns and they did more changes to the controller experience than they did on the Xbox side. Xbox, as you guys know, have updated the D-pad on it. They changed a little bit of the overall sculpting of it. Might be a little bit bigger, might be a little bit smaller, depends on you. But it's in large part, it's the same. Slight little changes in the detail and the design, but nothing has been crazily overhauled. They took cues from the Elite controller, which is great, and they've kept it tried and true because that's what works. And it's to their credit, to Xbox credit, Microsoft's credit, they're allowing you to use those older controllers and bring them over to your S and your X. So if you've got a library of controllers, you're in good shape. And that is a downside when it comes to Sony, is that everything's getting proprietary for their console. Now there is word, and it probably is out there already, that you can use your DualSense controller on PC, and that's great. But it would have been nice for people that don't want to plunk down an extra 80 bucks, 100 bucks for a second controller. And maybe they've got their friends and family and they just want to be able to sync up this over Bluetooth. And they should at least have given people the options to do that. Again, criticism for Sony for that piece, but in terms of just controller to controller, I gotta say that this guy is actually really premium, and I'm really enjoying the experience overall. What do you guys think? What are you enjoying? What are you playing right now? What is going on in your little land? Are you playing Miles? Are you playing Spider-Man? You playing Demon Souls? What has got you all tickled? What are you enjoying with the DualSense controller, and what have you noticed? Is it a game changer enough for you? Do you feel that this is the piece of the edge that Sony has over Microsoft, or do you feel like they're both on an equal playing field? Playing these games, and I think if you're doing a long time play sessions, these controllers are what's going to matter to you. They're going to make a big difference, not only to just how your hands are feeling, but then it engages you more with the system. And having that faster SSD, having the games loading faster, I'm spending more time in the game itself. And that's a big, big deal, right? Because then I'm not spending time grabbing my phone, grabbing my laptop while I'm having saves load up and the next sequence load up. Because I'm a lot more engaged, and being more engaged with it, I think is just going to create a better experience overall. That's it. That's my chat. That's my chat about the DualSense. I like it. I like a lot of it. And I also like the Xbox One too. So haha, both are good, but Sony giving them a little bit of an edge. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments below. Thank you so much for watching. I am Matt from Assemble. Come and check us out every single week. Subscribe and watch more of our content if you can, because we are trying to get to that road to 500 subs. So let's go today and this whole weekend. Happy Thanksgiving, everybody. And as always, thank you for assembling with us. See ya.